Well, let's talk next to Professor Maziyar Ghiabi, who's Director of the Centre for Persian and Iranian Studies at the University of Exeter. Professor, welcome. So, Tehran warning of a decisive response. What form of retaliation might we expect from Iran?
I think, as we've spoken so far, the first option might be some form of intervention within the Strait of Hormuz. This could be, for instance, targeting only U.S.-bound ships, for instance, or a full closure, which might be probably coming at a later stage. This is a quite dramatic step, but I think the conflict, instead of sort of going towards a stalemate, is actually escalating further. Another option is Iran targeting U.S. military bases in the Middle East and along the Arabian Peninsula, so the southern part of the Persian Gulf. Again, Iranian officials, I think, are wary of direct attack on military bases, because if it causes casualties or dead soldiers, that could bring in the U.S. more actively in the war with repeated strikes. And Iranians are at the moment trying to avoid that, I would say. Fundamentally, I think there will be increasing attacks on Israel as well. I think that's part of the response.
We're seeing somewhat confused messaging from the White House and President Trump about regime change in Iran. If regime change does go ahead, what might that look like?
I think regime change is a word that is being used, but actually what it means is mostly a regime collapse or a situation of ungovernability. Along the lines that we've already seen in Libya and Syria in the past. This would mean a dysfunctioning remaining state, let's say the Islamic Republic, with localized insurgencies supported by foreign powers, particularly Israel and the United States, which have a long track history of supporting anti-Islamic Republic groups, both along Iran's borders, where minority population live, Baluchistan, Iraqi Kurdistan, and the Republic of Azerbaijan, which enjoys very good relationships with Israel, as well as internal opposition groups, and there's plenty of people who might not be happy with the Islamic Republic. So in a situation of ungovernability, we would be seeing something like that. And that's the worst of all outcomes, really, because it would mean a long, decade-long, we're talking, period of instability with a complete destruction of Iran's current infrastructure, scientific achievement, and lack of human security.
Do you envisage any possible peaceful paths for de-escalation now?
I would like to say yes, but I'm very pessimistic about it, because I see a strong positioning by Israel and the United States, in spite of the rhetoric being used, as you said, partly confusing and ambiguous. It seems that they have both decided that this conflict needs to be continued to the point of capitulation. The Iranian political elite is not ready to capitulate, and these people have been, fighting different battles for several decades. So the likely outcome for it is not a peaceful process, unless, incredible pressure from world superpowers, including China and Russia, could lead to a reasoning on the Middle Eastern front by the United States and Israel.
Professor, good to see you. Thank you for that. Professor Maziyar Ghiabi, the Director of the Centre for Persian and Iranian Studies at the University of Exeter.